So the bike lane is two directions on the west side of the street, and it's separated by a couple feet of painted buffer and then mostly these plastic posts, but every once in a while there'll be a concrete curb like that. Obviously a concrete curb inspires a little more confidence than the plastic posts alone, but you don't see too many of them with scuff marks on them. So a lot of people like to hate on the plastic pylons, and I understand that. That's sort of a cheap and easy cop-out compared to a complete solution like a concrete curb, but it's way cheaper, and evidence suggests that they're pretty effective when used correctly, when you're not asking too much of the post. It's there to remind, to be very obvious, and especially at night, very bright reminder to people driving that there's a barrier there they need to stay out of. Okay, this is the coolest intersection probably of the whole project. So from here you've got the Ravenna Boulevard bike lanes come in, and Green Lake bike lanes kind of go up and stay, and just if you're going straight, you can now completely avoid this intersection entirely, which is not the way it used to be. You used to have to kind of get in line, mix in with general traffic, and kind of fight your way through the stop sign cycle to get through. And probably the biggest improvement is for people walking, really. You can see this intersection is very busy. These crosswalks are very busy. So being able to tighten them up like this, there's lots of daycares and such that come through, taking kids between the daycare and the park to play. And, it's just really important that we prioritize that kind of transportation across the street over everything else. And I think that they've done that really well here. So the old bike lane used to be over on the other side of the street, and it was barely a bike lane. It was a very old style paint only bike lane where they just sort of like made the parking lane a little wider. So right in the spot where if someone opened their car door, the door would open and hit you as you biked by. And at that point, it's like, well, this isn't much of a bike lane, is it? Southbound, the bike lane was paint only also, but at least it was against the curb like this. And that, it wasn't like amazing or anything, but it was serviceable. But northbound, this way, this is just night and day. So much better. It's hard to compare, honestly. We can talk a little bit about these bus stops. This is for the 45, I think is the only bus that comes through here, and where the bike lane goes behind the bus stop. The nice thing about that kind of bus stop is that it lets the bus stop in lane, so it doesn't have to, merge out of the lane and then merge back in with cars who, where people might not let the bus back in like you're legally supposed to. Technically, you're not supposed to continue straight, which is interesting. Feels like you could continue straight. I anticipate there's gonna be a lot of people who just kind of go the wrong way on this bike lane to get over to the parking lot area over there. I really don't understand why this is not two-way, because I think that there's demand to get up to this street here. See, now it's kind of awkward. I think that's a mistake. I think they should have extended it up to here. But, they got pretty close, I guess. All right. But now we get our own time. Nope, they can yield. They get the left turn yield there. Interesting. So this bike lane also used to be a painted only bike lane. It's on the traffic side of the parked cars, and they moved the parked cars over. I think they got rid of a center turn lane where it was not needed, and then where it is needed, they got rid of the parking. It's the way that they should do it. It's totally the way you should do it. You know, like having a turn lane that you don't need actually makes the street more dangerous, because people use the turn lane for passing when they shouldn't pass. Usually the city's old way was, oh, we need a turn lane, so we'll get rid of the bike lane. And that's messed up, because someone being safe is more important than a turn lane, and it's definitely more important than parking. So that's not what the city is doing in this new style of bike lane, which is wonderful to see. You know, they're not allowing that kind of corner to be cut. So this route is a very important bike route because it connects Green Lake up to the interurban north bike route and Greenwood and beyond. And that makes this like the best connection if you're on the interurban north to get to, you know, University of Washington, University Bridge, and all points beyond. All right, so this is new. Now you hop up on the sidewalk here, sort of. The bike path kind of weaves through this whole new area. It's all extended out. There used to be a right turn lane through here. We'll pull up the old image, and it is what you could call a slip lane. It's sort of like a channelized right turn, I think is another way of saying it. And essentially, it attempts to cut down on vehicle delays and speed up vehicle speeds by making it so you can make a right turn without even stopping or slowing down. They installed these things absolutely everywhere at one point in time, which is just ridiculous because, well, why would we invest public money in something designed to make it so that people can drive faster and not stop before, you know, making a turn or crossing a crosswalk? Why would we do that? It's completely absurd. It's horrendous that we ever did it. It's honestly kind of embarrassing that we ever did it. And they're everywhere. If you don't know what a slip lane is, you've never heard that term before, you're gonna start seeing them all over the place. It should really make it a lot safer for people walking especially. But then as you saw, they cleverly designed a bike lane into it that is also a huge improvement over the way it used to be. So, good job. Now this is very nice here. This whole area used to be terrible before this bike lane. Oh my God, it was so bad. But, you know, the buffer and the whole bike lane between you and the road gives you a lot of space between you and passing cars. I mean, it used to be the car would be right here when it passed you. It was significantly less comfortable. So, yeah, this is just. I think this is one of those improvements where now that it's here, it's gonna be really hard to imagine a time when it wasn't here. It also sort of ends, hopefully, the saga of the Green Lake bike path, which is just too busy. Too many people walking on it. That it's just not a good place to bike. And, you know, this became a problem years and years ago. And there's too many people on too small of a path. It's such a destination park. And so years ago, the solution was to make it so that if you are biking, you can only bike in one direction, but you can walk in either direction. Now, this is super confusing because if you're trying to use it for transportation, it's like, well, but I go multiple directions.
We are at 50th and Green Lake. Which one is it? Green Lake Way. and then stoneways to the south of us. This is where the old bike lane ends. All right, so we're biking along the new section. I like that there's really clear markings of where people can park and bollards and space. Very smooth, not bumpy at all. So we're coming up to the spot where it's gonna have switch from one-way bike lanes on each side of the road to being the two-way bike lane. I just did this the other day for the first time, and I thought it actually worked really well. Just gotta take your time and follow the markings. So we're up on the sidewalk, and there's little bike markings on the ground. Bikes have been detected because it's been illuminated, so you don't even have to press the button. That's pretty sweet. I think now that the bollards are up, it feels so much more official. I rode it when it was still in kind of construction, and it was a little, but this is great. It's nice to actually be on the side of the lake where you can kind of just like gaze out into the water and the trees. Oh, so cute. Honestly, I would try to avoid this section of it and just like bike through the neighborhood if I could, even though not all the streets go through, because it was just kind of stressful. I didn't go out of my way to be on this part of the street, and if I was on it, I was just biking quickly and working to get to my destination and not enjoying being near the lake. Biking off the road.